Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Thank you for tuning in on this video, where we are going to take a look specifically the type of coins that Heritage Auctions consigns. This is important because not all auction companies operate the same way. There are certain coins that they're looking for. Primarily, it's by value of the coins. Traditionally, they'll look at previous sold listings of the coins that you may want to sell them, or they'll simply use things like PCGS price guide, the NGC price guide, things like that. So you've heard me refer to PCGS and NGC. Okay, they're two of the biggest coin grading companies in existence, and that's where we need to be at here, folks. Is the coins have to be graded? Okay. Oftentimes, you're going to have to do that yourself. So you're going to have to kind of present the coins in your collection to them. Now, obviously, there's a certain dollar criteria that has to be met. Okay. And, you could just as easily contact Heritage Auctions to find out what that is. But to save you guys a little bit of, I don't know, I guess a little bit of time, a little bit of what could be wasted energy here. Hopefully this video will help answer some of the questions that you may have. Because not everything is consignable to Heritage Auctions. So I want to let you guys know that. So the best place to kind of start out at, obviously, you want to get registered. Okay, you see my name, Sean, right there. So I'm already signed in to my Heritage account. I buy more from Heritage Auctions than I do consign. So just to let you guys know. But my personal experiences with the platform is really in talking to my consignment director. I've talked to him a few times. I've had the same consignment director for the better part of the last 8 to 10 years. So I think it's 8 to 10 years. It might be a little bit less than that. I think there was a transition somewhere in there, but I've been with the same consignment director for the longest time, and I could just easily email this individual to possibly discuss a consignment opportunity, things like that. And then this consignment director, okay, you don't necessarily have one assigned to you, by the way, but if you go on the horn, you call them. Obviously, you're going to talk with a professional within the coins realm about how much the fees are, when these coins will sell, because there's specific timelines that they'll post the coins that you have in your collection to auction. Maybe they'll want to place it, within like a Long Beach sale or something like that to gain more exposure. So we're going to start, obviously, get yourself signed in, register, and then that'll give you kind of like more free reign to kind of discover more of the website. So this is the main splash page. ha.com is the website. And then in the future, I'll probably end up doing something like this with Stax Bowers, David Lawrence, Great Collections, eBay is another one. And I'm sure that's pretty self-explanatory because everybody knows eBay. But in this particular case, we're going to start out by going to categories. So just by hovering over the word categories, it shows all of the different subject areas that they specialize in. Arts and antiques, coins, currency, and stamps, comic books. They even do video games in there, which is, I believe, under comics, comic art, and animation art. Or it might be entertainment and multimedia. Let's see. There it is, video games. So I've bought a few video games from them before. Historical books, nature and science, timepieces, watches, pocket watches, NFTs, real estate, sports, and wine. All right, so that's what they specialize in. If you have any of those items, you're in luck. They could probably hook you up with some sort of consignment opportunity there. So we're going to go to coins and currency and stamps. We're going to click on that. And for the sake of this particular video, we're going to focus on coins. Okay, that's the most important part of this. So we're going to go to coins. And then once we get to the next screen, okay, you have a little bit of flexibility here. You could check out what's currently available. in some of the current auctions that are live right now, there are a number of buy it now or buy now type listings where you can go in, you find something you like, hit buy now, and then just go ahead and purchase it. Go ahead and check out like normal. You can do it by category, and then you can do all sold, which is Heritage's auction archive. Okay, we're going to actually use that to help illustrate the level and how the depth of the type of coins that they accept. So obviously there's a kind of like a little newsreel type area that tells you about a few of the coins. As you can tell, I mean, they deal in multi-million-dollar pieces here. But it also showcases some of the upcoming sales that they have running. Like they have the Certified American Tokens and Metals U.S. coin sale on the 22nd, Barber Coinage from the Stephenville collection. So if you have a collection that's big enough that has its own provenance, they can set up its own specific, unique type of auction for you. And then it's just going to come down to the agreement of, okay, what date are we actually going to do the live event? You know, and then people can do pre-bids all the way up to that point. So that's something, again, that your consignment director, in this case, Keith Escuchin, I think I got that right, is the mainline consignment director for the coin section. Now, there's different consignment directors with each subject of the things that they sell. So if you did sports cards, there's a completely different consignment director for that there. So, you know, just checking out some of the things here. They have a my recommendations list here of coins that, you know, they feel like is kind of like their higher echelon. You know, go ahead and bid on them, check them out, you know, do whatever you want. They have featured U.S. coins. All right, so if you have a high profile coin of a certain type of rarity, they could list it as featured. Now, I don't know if they charge extra for that, but again, it really depends on, I guess, the rarity of that piece for its respective series, if that makes sense. So when we're talking about large cents, for example, the 1804 large cent that's the one. If you had an 1804 large cent that you want to consign, that would be a featured coin. Same with the 1793 large cent strawberry leaf. You know, that's another good one right there as well. So you could also open up the various auctions that are currently live and just look at the lots for that particular showcase. Or you could look at closed auctions. Like if we went to closed auctions, you're going to see they have Long Beach here from Feb 12th. Florida Fun from January, Central States, which was just recently, May 7th. Heritage Auctions actually takes part in a lot of the big national sales. Long Beach, Central States, Florida Fun are a few of the big ones that they use. Okay, but to help give you guys a little guidance on what they deal with, we're going to go into the auction archives. So, now, at this particular juncture, you can look at anything you want, right? But these are, you know, the Hall of Fame highlights for U.S. coins showcases the most expensive coins that Heritage Auctions has ever had the pleasure of consigning through their auctions, okay? Like the Brasher doubloon. I mean, that thing is self-explanatory. Now, if you're not into coins, you don't know what that is, you know, obviously it's a high-profile coin. It sold for over $9 million. I mean, come on now. You know, they got the Paquette Double Eagle. They got this thing here. That's the $1 flowing hair, it looks like, in Mid-State 66 Plus. They got the 893 engraved $3 piece here. It's actually like a proof or something. So they have a lot of like big time pieces here, you know, multi-million-dollar type items. 1913 V nickel is another one that they've sold on a couple occasions. So let's go ahead and check out, because I get this quite often, small cents, and then let's look at Lincoln cents, because that's like one of the biggest series that people search through, they own, you know, things like that. So if we went and clicked on Lincoln cents there on the left side, it's just going to show all the Lincoln cents that have sold. Now, if you do buy best match, it actually gives you kind of like an amount of coins that could be recent, but at the same time, they could be coins from like 10 years ago that they've sold. So that you want to just be cautious of, and make sure you sort by the correct thing that you need there. Most recent sales. So we'll go ahead and do that there. And then it'll automatically refresh it for you. So you can see that, they could sell coins, that are of lower value, like this 1909 VDB Mid-State 66 red that sold for $408. Now, the person that buys it can resell it out into the marketplace, and they'll have like an offer of $612, for example, on this coin, and then you can make an offer. All right. Obviously, the people that do that, they're not interested in maybe keeping the coin for themselves, and they will certainly resell it for the right price. Obviously, they're trying to make money in some way here. But you can see that this is some of the most recent sales. This is from May 16th. Which is just a few short days ago. But you can see, let me actually move my mug over here on this side. But looking up and down the spectrum here, we have a lot of coins over $1,000. But as we go on to some of the newer stuff, here's a 1922D that looks in pretty good shape, $396. Again, every single coin, ladies and gentlemen, is graded in some way. There's even a 1923 Lincoln cent for $216. I'm talking to you guys about some of the lower valued items that they will accept, but you got to keep in mind they're not accepting just the one coin. There's a certain total dollar value that they need to be at in order to do business with you. Okay, it's not like, oh, I have this one coin that's worth $200. Go ahead and consign it for me. They would prefer to deal in much larger lots. Again, it has to be equitable for all parties, heritage auctions included. Now, there are some coins that, of course, are a lot cheaper. We have a few coins that are under a few $100 here. But once we get into the newer stuff, you're going to see exactly what I mean. Like, here's the 1944 Lincoln Mid-State 67 that sold for $89. So they do deal in the lower tier valued items. All right, so that's something that you shouldn't have to worry about. Now, obviously, if you're going to send a coin like that to a grading company, it has to be worth it for you from the grader perspective as well. You're not just going to send out just some Joe Schmo coin and it come back a certain grade, and you have spent and invested $30 per coin that you had sent to NGC or PCGS, and then turn around and it could sign it with Heritage. Okay, don't do that madness. You got to make sure that the coins that you have some sort of substantial value, whether it's raw or graded. And in certain occasions, you don't even have to worry about a coin being cleaned or damaged if it's of the right date and key. Those particular coins are still going to sell for quite a bit of money. But you can see that we've seen a few listings that have sold for under $100, and that helps illustrate the progressiveness and kind of like the approachability of heritage auctions when it comes to any collection. They're not going to turn their nose on something that's only worth $50 or $100, but if you have enough pieces to go into an auction, that's gonna look a lot better for both of you. And, always keep that in mind. If it's quantity of a certain type of coin that's worth between $50 and $150, that's still better than a sharp stick in the eye. But again, reach out to your consignment director. Just make sure that's okay. And if they're interested in dealing in things like that, but ideally they want to splash a few nicer, higher profile coins that are worth like maybe $500 or more in there, to make it a little bit more of a better incentive to put it into their sale. Because on the heritage auction side, they have to assign an auction stock number. They have to photograph, image all these coins. So there's a lot of manpower and a lot of labor, money that's going to those type of activities, and they pay their people quite a bit of money to do these things. So again, it's that equity type of situation that has to be worth it for everyone involved, yourself included as the seller. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Sorry to keep it, if it feels like it's kind of short, what else more is there to talk about? We looked at Lincoln Cents from the last like 7 days. We're even at May 9th. So it was even last week's sale as well that's highlighted in here. But if you find that you have some coins and you're looking to sell and you want to take a lot of the labor off your hands and you have some pretty good stuff, send it out to Heritage Auctions. Give them a call first, let them know what you have. My personal recommendation is to put together kind of like a spreadsheet of stuff that you have, and then kind of like list it coin by coin. And then, do your research. Go on PCGS's website, look at their price guide, figure out valuations. And again, you have to be a little bit of a savvy person in the grading kind of arena to know what you have. Because if you think you have a mid-state 67 Lincoln Cent of a specific date, and it turns out you have nothing that's better than maybe a mid-state 62, then obviously the grading education part of it probably needs to be touched up a little bit. And that's okay. We all have to crawl before we walk, even myself included. I sometimes still feel like I do some of that on occasion. But there you go. That's what I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of a takeaway. Again, a couple keys to figure out before you decide to sell with Heritage Auctions. Are your coins graded? Do you know the value of your coins? Reach out to a consignment director. They're only a phone call away. Sometimes it's better to just call the consignment director directly rather than going on like Facebook, chat groups and saying, "Hey, should I grade this?" And everybody's like, "What? I wouldn't grade that with a 10-foot pole." It'll save you guys a little bit of embarrassment, a little bit of aggravation that's surrounding that. You might as well just rip that Band-Aid off and then call them up and then, find out from the horse's mouth what's involved, what the requirements are, what specific dollar figure they're looking as a total whole picture that they want to consign with folks. Get all this information down, and then you can move on to the next steps. All right, but don't waste your time with all the outside noise when all you could do is go right directly to the source of the matter and then start the progressive work into it. But there you go. Selling through Heritage Auctions could be a more easier. If you need to find out more about your other coins, you can always go into the auction archives on any series you want. Jefferson Nickels, Mercury Dimes, Seated Liberty half dollars. You pick out whatever that you have the most of, or that you feel like that you have the most valuable coins of, and do your research, see what they have, and then go from there. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in on this video. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of, good advice here, because that's what's important. And I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you guys again for all your views and support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your way out. And until next time, my coinaholics, keep on collecting. Never stop. It's fun. All right, I'll see you guys later.